like it's spooky.
Judy, Roger, where you going? The party's just begun.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Bobby Likes It Spooky. Welcome for a second episode of Original versus Sequel. Last week I had Joe from Horror Queers talking about Hellraiser and Hellraiser 2. That was super fun. This week I got another very special guest that I love so much. She is the YouTube host of Real Queen of Horror, and she's also on the Bloody Disgusting podcast. Please check out my girl and welcome my girl, the Real Queen of Horror, Zena Dixon. What's up?
Hi! Oh my gosh, Bobby, that intro. Thank you.
I tried, but of course, welcome to the show.
Again,
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Happy to do this. Audience, don't mind my dogs. I'm happy to do this with you. I'm happy to talk about Night of the Demons and Night of the Demons 2 with you. So surprise everybody, this is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
These movies I feel like don't get too much love, especially part 2. I don't hear too many people talking about that movie a lot. So we're going to definitely go in today talking about this movie. Before we get started, what's been keeping you safe?
Well, wait, before I answer that, can I say something?
Sure.
Okay. Well, first, I told you this, off air, but I have to tell you again because we're on air and people need to hear this. I was so excited when you asked me to do this with you because I knew that you liked Night of the Demons, as well. So it's just the fact that we both have that love for it,
Mm-hmm.
So now look at us. We're best friends now.
I know. That's awesome. And I'm happy that you chose this because, again, you love this movie. I love this movie. There's another friend of mine. He's on a good friend on Twitter, Scotty Tarati. He goes by on Twitter, and he also loved this movie. So shout out to Scotty. But I'm so happy that you chose this. And again, I can't wait till we just dig deep into to these two movies here.
Okay,
yes.
So spooky question. All right, so I was thinking about this. So I have two that I'd like to talk about, if that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first one, I'm kind of going through like a Dario Argento marathon because I realized there are some movies of his, not even some, a lot of his movies that I haven't seen because I just keep on watching Two Evil Eyes and I just can't keep doing that, So I have to like broaden my horizons. So for the first time, I checked out Opera from 1987.
Ooh, okay.
I have been missing out. I've been missing out in life, okay? Because it's just like I personally think that it's not like scary, like I'm gonna hide under my bed, but it has like a creepy feel to it. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't imagine going through those certain situations. And Dario Argento, he has like a thing with peepholes. That's what I noticed. And in this movie, this woman looks through a peephole. And what happens to her?
I think I know.
Yeah.
I know.
I was just like super late with like watching this. I had some people like recommend it to me and then I finally checked it out. Thanks to my friend Tyler and Justin, and they recommended it like, no, you need to watch it. Plus it's like, I live for drama, for the arts, mix those together. That sounds so negative that I live for drama, but you know what I mean. So
I mean, the good kind. It's okay.
Right,
well, it depends on what you think is good, but the good kind.
Right. And there's a lot of drama in that movie. So there's that one. So that was like a blind one for me. Then the second one, so there's a writer named Gary Duberman, and he wrote like the It movies, like the new one. So It, the first one, then It Chapter 2, The Nun, the Annabelle movies, and he directed the last Annabelle movies, Annabelle Comes Home. So he wrote this movie called Within from 2016. I watched this last Saturday, and I just cannot stop like thinking about it.
It's called Within?
Yeah, Within from 2016. It's on HBO Max. And I put it on because I thought it was going to be like a made for TV, Lifetime, thriller. No, like it went a complete different direction than I thought. And it's basically about this family. They move into this house. So there's the father, there's the daughter, and then there's the stepmother. They all get along. You know, they have a teenage daughter, or the father, that's his daughter, but they all get along. So there really isn't any drama like that. They move to this house, really nice house. The teenage daughter, when she's cleaning out the garage, because they got like a really good deal on the house, it's like, girl, that should have been a sign. But the old owners, their items, their belongings, they're still in the garage, but that's how the house came. They have to clean it out. So the father has his daughter clean it out. She finds like an old picture of the family. And then she finds out from one of the neighborhood kids, you know, that they have the spooky house in the neighborhood. And she's like, okay, because the people who used to live there, they were murdered in the house. And they said that the father did it of that family. And then even before they even moved in, there was a family that was living there. And yeah, they went missing. Where are they? We don't know, right? so that happened. And so it kind of has like a familiar trope. There's a lot of tropes in here that we've seen before. But the way they pace the movie, the direction that it goes, and even the ending surprised me. And there's something that really creeped me out because, you know, I have an attic. Sometimes I hear some weird stuff coming from the attic sometimes. And then I kind of live in the middle of nowhere. So it's like I hear some weird things. You know what I mean? Maybe it's the New Yorker in me, right? You know, maybe it's just like the New Yorker in me that's used to, you know, like, you know, hearing things. But it's just like there's nothing outside. And then the fact that I could hear it in the house. Like, just if you ever get a chance to check it out, I recommend it. So,
I'm definitely going to want to. I want to check that out. That sounds crazy. It sounds like my type of movie. And you said it's on HBO Max?
It's on HBO Max, yeah.
I will be watching that this weekend.
But if you hate it, you know, I don't know what to tell you.
You know, it takes a lot for me to hate a movie. I might like dislike it a little bit, or it's just not my. I can see why people like it. It might not be like my thing.
Right.
But it takes a lot for me to dislike hate a movie, I should say.
Okay.
So yeah, and what you're just how you're describing it and what it's about, I feel like this is my type of movie. Like this is my jam. So
very cool.
Ooh, I can't wait to check this out. And it's funny that you mentioned addicts because you recently just came out with a video talking about creepiest addicts.
Yeah, this the movie actually inspired me, but it was kind of like, should I add it on the list? I think I might talk about it like separate in a different video, or maybe on its own because I liked it that much. But yeah, the video about creepy attics, because my attic is very creepy. I never go up there. I hate it up there. So,
I want an attic. I don't have one. For some reason, I want one. I don't know why. Maybe because I want spooky things to maybe happen. Because my basement is not scary. Like my basement is kind of chill. Like it's actually like cozy down there a little bit.
Ooh.
Yeah, and it's
trade.
Like,
we could trade.
That would be great. I want a spooky basement or attic. I mean, that's weird, but whatever.
No, not at all. Not at all.
But what I've been. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say. I will say this though. When my husband and I, when we first moved in this house, right, something pretty creepy happened. And maybe it's not creepy at all. You know, we both watch a lot of horror movies. Maybe it's just my imagination running wild. So we moved in, and you know, I was looking through the cabinets in the kitchen, and I found a teapot. You know, I was like, I don't want this dusty teapot. Like, so I took it and I put it in the trash. Right. The next morning, I woke up. It was back in the shelf. And my husband said, no, I didn't do it. I think he did. I think he did it.
Come on.
Like,
it just can't.
It wasn't the cat. It had to be you, you know? But yeah, you know, I really want to see like a haunted teapot movie now. No?
That would be dope.
It would be.
You know, just steaming people to death, hot tea, whatever. Just, you know.
I would watch that movie so fast.
Same. There's so many, I guess, look, we got killer sofas, we got killer pants, we got killer weave. Like, why not a good pack? Like, why not? Might as well.
I like I said, I would watch it. I'm open.
Yeah, right. I mean, the list just keeps going on. Maybe eventually it'll happen. Maybe you should make it, Zena.
I think, you know what? I just might, but no, I want it to be a serious movie, you know, but I know I'll turn it into a comedy horror. Like you said, people getting steamed to death.
Yeah.
Throw like tea bags out of it. Like,
oh, that would be epic. Oh my gosh. I would love it so much. But I can see how that would probably turn into like a comedy, like a horror comedy. I don't think you can get any serious from a killer tea. Oh man. Well, what I've been watching, I obviously watched. I was speaking with Joe about this. I finished watching them. Mixed feelings about that overall. I just had it. And I lost it already.
Oh, no worries.
I'm gonna have to go to my letterbox because I've been watching so many movies. Oh,
it's hard to keep track.
The Banishing. That's what it was.
Oh, that was it.
Yeah, it's good. I like it. It's, you know, if you don't like drawn out movies too much and you like slow paced movies, then cool. But if you don't, especially with the type of ending that we got, like it was kind of like intense, but I don't think it was that intense for like how drawn out the movie was. Like if you're gonna have a slow burn movie, the pacing and stuff is slow. The ending needs to, for me at least, it needs to have some type of payoff or, you know, be this big climatic thing. And unfortunately, it didn't do that for me. But I enjoy aspects of it. I liked it. I might watch it again.
Okay.
Because I felt the same way with Come True. And I like Come True. But again, and I rewatched it. I was attacked in a good way. I was attacked in a good way about the movie because I didn't really, in the beginning, I really said I didn't care for it that much. I like aspects of it, but it wasn't what I expected. But when I watched it again, I said, all right, I see what the director was trying to do. I see what the movie is about. But it's still something about it, at least for me, that it's not something I would run to or call it like the best horror movie of the year. It's great. I love maybe I wasn't feeling the ending a little bit of Come True, but when I watched it a second time, I said, okay, this is different. If they decide to do a sequel or something, I wonder where they would take it. But
like I really like that one, but there were so many questions. But with the director, I have such a love for him because he directed, wrote, produced, and I think he did the editing. It's just like, whoa, you know, like
he did all of that.
He did all that, and it was just like, but no, you're right. Like when it comes with the ending, and then even with it's not what I expected, but not in a bad way. You know what I mean? And it is a very like slow burn, like movie that takes its time. And I know that it's not going to be for everybody, but I don't know. Like there was just something about it that was like, I'm not too sure what's going on in certain scenes, but it's like a chilling feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. Like the nightmare scenes in there were, I think, done very well. Like I like when you see their heads, like you see all the, I guess, the nightmare imagery that's in there. But for the rest of the movie, I don't know. I enjoyed it. Just like I enjoyed it more the second time than the first time, just because, like, again, the hype and everybody was building up around it, and just I was like, all right, I gotta watch this movie. And then I guess in my head, because I'm human, I was just like, all right, let me see what the hype is about, and it didn't do it for me the first time, but this time I enjoyed it a little bit more. So I'm not too sure it's because I knew what was going to happen because I already seen it, but I liked it the second time. So
cool stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, I watched The Banishing, and then I'm also watching the Creep Show series, which so good. And I've seen that you tweeted about it, and you enjoyed it, right? Did you like it?
I like okay. I like the first season. You know, some of the episodes, like I think my favorite one was probably that one with that little dollhouse with the head. Like that.
Yes.
Burn you know. That one, but then this season though, it has like higher energy. You know what I mean? Like the stories are like really creepy. Like it's just really together.
Yeah.
Like I like it a lot. What do you think?
Yeah, I think. I think that they're coming a little bit more harder this season compared to the first one, because I did enjoy the first season, but I feel like this one so far, like each episode, I'm enjoying so far. Where with the first one, they were kind of just like, like I could have done without. But this one, so far, I'm enjoying each like episode. I like it. I like it a lot, and I feel like, because obviously you get two stories in one episode, and I always feel like the second story is a lot better than the first story that we get. And when it came out today, I feel the same way. I'm not too sure if you've seen it. I'm not going to say nothing, but
I need to watch it. I'm gonna watch it tonight.
It's good.
Okay.
The first one was cool. I'm like, all right, I can see like what they're trying to do is in space and stuff, but the second one I just had more fun with. So.
Is that the one with is it like a brother sister? That one is that Rusty?
Rusty directed that one, and I see he did a great job. I loved it.
Okay.
It was a lot of fun.
Ooh, I'm gonna check it out tonight.
Yes, and let me know what you think. You gotta tweet me and let me know what you thought about that, because I'm curious. Because not too many people I know that's watching it. So, or watching at the same pace I am, because as soon as it comes out, I'm like, I'm watching it tonight. So yeah, you gotta let me know what you thought about it.
Okay, I will. I'm definitely want to do that.
Awesome. Okay, so let's get into these crazy ass movies, Zena.
Oh, don't tell me you're leaving. Where you going? The party's just begun.
Night of the Demons.
Rest assured, we've got something wonderful planned for you.
All right, so we obviously you have love for Night of the Demons. Came out in 1988, I believe. That was also the year I was born, and that's crazy. Yeah, everybody keeps saying it. Like Joe said the same thing, and I'm just like, y'all not that much older or younger.
I thought you were like born in 94, 95.
Oh, thank you. That's a compliment.
Yeah. That's why.
No, I'm an 80s baby. Man, late 80s baby, but
same.
Grew up in the 90s, and enjoyed everything. But I'm gonna get into it because it has something to do with this movie in the second one. But before I get into like my thoughts about the movie, let's get into your thoughts. So, what was your first impression? Well, actually, when did you first see this movie? Like, do you remember when you first seen this?
I do remember. So, like you, I'm an 80s baby, but I was born in 87.
Okay.
And I watched it. I think I was like 4 or 5 years old.
Oh my God.
I know. My mother, she's a huge horror fan. And like we would watch what she wanted to watch, okay? And my dad, not so much. He's not a horror fan. So I remember we were and I have like 5 other brothers and sisters, and I'm the youngest, right? So I would have to like find my little spot on my parents' bed so I could watch the movie. And because there was like a lot of us, so we had to find a way. And I remember watching it, and I was so the start of the movie, it's like an animation.
Yeah.
So I thought it was gonna be like a cartoon, like a Halloween cartoon. I'm like, okay, cool, all right, And it was not. I don't recommend. I don't have any kids, but I mean, if I had kids, my kids, they're gonna watch it, okay? Because I turned out fine,
Oh yeah, you agree.
right? So, but no, I remember watching it at a very young age, and then it really did scare me. I'm not gonna lie, I was really just horrified, but I was so intrigued, especially like with Roger, as an example, because I've never seen that before. You know what I mean? And I feel like he did the right decision. And he made the right decision. You know, we all were in high school before. We all had like peer pressure. We all done some stupid stuff when we were in high school. I played with a Ouija board. I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to, but I never did. That was just like, you know, the devil on one shoulder is saying, Rob, do it. And the angel was just like, don't do it. And the angel won. Because girl.
Good for you. Yeah, I wish I didn't. But anyway, I just remember really just falling in love with the movie, and I wanted more, you know. Yes. And I don't know if that was like the first horror movie I've ever watched, but it's the first one that I remember watching. You know what I mean? At like such a young age.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you?
Okay, so for me, all right. So confession, I actually seen the second one before I seen this one.
That's cool.
Yeah, I remember because like I mentioned in the beginning of this, I spent so much time with my aunt and uncle growing up, and my aunt used to do this thing where, you know, when horror movies come on HBO, Cinemax, Showtime, whatever, she used to record them on VHS. She would have 3 movies like on one VHS tape, and one night I just chose Night of the Demons 2. Ooh. And I wasn't even scared of this movie. I just had fun with it. And I forgot how old I was. I had to be like maybe like 7 or 8 or something like that. So I was pretty young, but it didn't really scare me. It was parts of it that scared me, but it didn't really scare me that much. I just had a good time watching the second one. It's not until the first one I seen in 2008 or 9.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I seen it like right after I graduated high school or whatever. And I said, all right, I've never seen this before. This is going to be awesome because the second one I always loved. It was near dear to my heart. Love this movie. Love that movie. So I said, let's get into the original Night of the Demons. And it was just like my eyes were just like, it was so awesome because it was just so 80s. The makeup effects was awesome. The music was just screamed 80s. It was great.
Yeah.
And then like Linnea Quigley was in there, and I didn't know that she was in that movie because I'm a big fan of Return of the Living Dead, and I love her character Trash. She actually inspired me to change my name to Bobby Likes It Spooky because in one scene, in one scene, yes. Yes, that's like one of my favorite zombie movies. But when I found out that Linnea Quigley was in this movie, I said, "Oh, I'm all in," and she was so great in this movie. But yeah, before I keep going on and on about it, I seen it like I guess recently, but not recently. I was an adult when I watched this movie, so
that's awesome though. Yeah,
it's
you have like a different type of perspective on it.
Mm-hmm. So. I wish I was 4 and watched this movie because I guarantee you that this movie would scare the hell out of me because watching this movie as an adult, I was kind of freaked out. Like I already knew, obviously I'm an adult, so I know all this is fake, but like the practical effects and like the demon transformations and just the voice and just, it was a lot going on in this movie. So this would have scared me at 4 and I would have had nightmares.
It's so weird too because like I said, I was so scared, but I couldn't get enough of it. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to watch it, and I think it was because of this movie why I love Halloween so much. You know, I'm pretty sure we probably watched it around Halloween.
Yeah,
and like it's so crazy too because even with you mentioning that, I love that you watched it when you were like an adult. Like I'm curious to see even how I would have reacted to it. You know what I mean? But it's like, I do love 80s like horror and stuff like that. So I'm sure that I would still love it. But it's like, I know that it doesn't, because it's an old movie now. You know, I know that it's dated. I know that there's some things that's predictable. Some things, you know. But I don't know. I still feel like it has that formula, that straightforward formula that all, you know, not even just horror fans, but movie fans love. You know, like you can kind of see yourself in this type of situation. Like I said, you know, I did some dumb stuff when I was in high school. Like even with the school I went to, and I think in my class, from middle school to high school, I think there were only about, I want to say 10 other Black kids in my school,
Oh,
you know?
wow.
And yeah. So it was just kind of like there was like some creepy stuff that I wouldn't do because it was like in a really small town. There's a point to this, I promise. There was because it's just like, oh my God, you and your stories. Ever since we started
No,
telling
love
you
it.
story. But no, yeah, I just remember in my high school because it's in a really small town, like the kids, they didn't really have anything else to do, right? So they would have like keg parties in the woods. And I'm not going in the woods, you know what I
Oh,
mean?
no.
Right? So that's something that I wouldn't do. But I remember even when I bring up the fact with the Ouija board, it was with a friend. It was like one of my best friends. She started hanging out with somebody who would hang out in cemeteries. And she was like, oh, this is what I learned from Jenna. And I'm like, oh, so the point is, it's like I see myself in Roger. You know what I mean? Because, you just want to have fun and it seems like it's okay. But I mean, I don't know. I'm Roger and he's me. So that's my point.
Hey, no, it's great that you say that because watching this movie as an adult, I didn't know what was going to happen to Roger. I just thought that he was going to die because
Yeah.
you see black people die in horror all the time, and for him I don't care if you want to call him a punk or whatever. This dude, like we say, he made decisions that you would make. I think that most black people would probably make when they're caught in a situation like that. Like, we're not going to play with things like that. We're not going to be around this. I'm out of here, before anything ever happens. And he turns out to be like the final guy in this movie because of the decisions that he made. So, and he was a black guy at that too. So, when I've seen that, as an adult, I'm just like, whoa, this is dope.
Right?
Like, I wasn't expecting that. What's her name got on my nerves? Roger got on my nerves on certain parts just because I was just like, all right, like, just have fun. Everybody's having a good time. Don't be a party pooper. But then I said, you know what? I get it because he mentioned that his father was like a pastor. So I said, oh, he goes to church, got a church background.
Right.
He knows better to mess with demonic stuff.
Yeah.
So I get why his character is the way he is. So I said, all right, I grew to love Roger. But what's her name got on my nerves? What's her name? Judy.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm happy for her. She made it to the end. The decisions she made was, I guess cool. She was helpful. But I don't know. Like, it was just something about her that bothered me. But maybe because I already knew that she was going to be the survivor. I knew that she was going to be like, the final girl at the end of the movie, because the movie did focus on her a lot. But it was something about her that just really bothered me, and to this day I'm happy that she made it out alive, but I just can't connect with Judy.
Right. Honestly, I'm like right there with you. Like, it's still so surprising with Roger that he survived. But with Judy, from the start, there's a couple of things that I want to talk about when it involves our little Judy, because it doesn't make any sense. And I need answers, Bobby, and I need you to answer.
If I know, I'll try my best.
So, okay, when we are first introduced to Judy, she's trying to help that old man outside who's just rude with his apples and razor blades. He should be in jail. His wife was sick of him. But okay, then Judy gets home. She's waiting for a call from from Jay. First off, I don't know what she saw in Jay. She should have just stayed with Sal. I really liked Sal. Sal was a good guy. Like,
Team Sal, yeah.
Why? Okay. Anyway, whatever. Back with Jay. She's on the phone with Jay. She's coming home. She's rushing. You don't want to take a shower? She just puts her underwear off and puts on a skirt. I'm like, wait, what? Like, even as a kid, I was like, wait a minute, like, what's happening here? And then her brother, Billy, is in the closet.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Billy's cool and all. And, even with their mother, first off, maybe I'm thinking that her mom was like a single mom,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. So she's having a hard time. Clearly, that's why Billy's so high strung,
Mm-hmm.
But like Billy was out of control. Like the mother was letting him just run wild, letting him say whatever he wants.
Exactly.
Of course, he's sure, Mom, they look like sun-dried poodle turd. It's just like I would have slapped his little face.
Right. She just like stormed off upset. I'm like, get your son together.
Right. And then, whatever. So then, okay. But the thing that really bothered me too, just going more into talk with Judy,
mm-hmm.
back with Jay, why do you like him? Because it's like, Is it because he's popular? I would think that it's because he's popular. But the truth is, it's like she should have known better when they were in Hull House and they were dancing and he wanted to dance with Suzanne. He grooved himself away from her.
And so smoothly too. He's just like, oh, and she just sitting there dumbfounded, like,
yeah. She should have like I was gonna say twerk herself. She should have moved over to where Sal was. Like, But yeah, and it was like clearly he just only wants to get in your pants. And he was just for the streets. He was for everybody. He didn't care. He wanted to get Suzanne, and Suzanne is just dirty, man. Like, I'm sorry, like. Again, it's like, and I get it. It's the 80s. It's, you have the good girl, you have the mean girl, you have the girl who likes to sleep around maybe a little bit, But Judy, though, like, I don't know. I kind of wasn't rooting for her,
Same. Yeah. And it's funny that you mentioned that Suzanne was nasty. She was bold. Like, you knew them two were together, and you're just gonna like roll up on her dude and just like pretty much like serenade him and kind of just, and he goes along with it. So she must know. Maybe there's a backstory in their high school where like they knew Judy was a punk. Like they knew that because Suzanne she probably wouldn't have done it to anybody else, but she probably knew about Judy, and she's like, this girl not going to do shit, so I'm going to take her.
It's true. And you know what? She tried it with Max, with Franny's man, but Franny was like, no. Franny was not having it.
He wasn't playing. She was like, I said, that's right, Judy, you need to learn from Franny over there.
Right? But okay, I know that has nothing to do with the thing, but that always bothered me for like years, that she was just, seriously, she was cool with that. Like, even if that's the case, then if she was that uncomfortable, because she seemed like she didn't want to, even before they got to Hull House, she didn't want to go, know? And then it's just like, all right, you get there and you felt uncomfortable, and then the guy that you came with is being disrespectful. You should have left. Like, there's just so many things, but, then there wouldn't be a movie.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. There was a lot of things that went into it. But and like watching it like now, and like when you rewatch movies, sometimes you understand why a character is the way that they're. I can't talk today. They're the way they are, or sometimes they're just it is what it is with them. So every time I watch this movie, I try to gain more hope for Judy, and I'm just like, okay, maybe she's like this. I'm trying to make up reasons why she's the way she is, and it's just not working. So I just need to come that she's just whack, and and I'm with Suzanne, because if you want to let somebody do that to your date or your man or whatever, then you deserve it.
I mean,
like you said, you're like Franny.
Yeah, and that's the thing. She didn't have. I'm not saying, and I know you're not saying this. We're not saying that she should go over there and slap her or fight her. No,
no.
Like Franny didn't do that, And it's just so weird too. Like you're right. I really do wonder, why is she like that? And like, even when it comes with Jay, it seemed like she liked Jay. She wants to be with him. So why aren't you with him? It seemed like he wasn't disrespectful to your face. So. You know what I mean?
Well, I guess it turned out for the right reason. He was an asshole because, he just wanted to go where he just wanted to just get laid. That was it.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, that's what I think. I feel like if him and Judy did have sex, I feel like maybe, and all this demonic stuff didn't happen, maybe they would go back to school and he probably wouldn't talk to her again, or he would break up with her or whatever because he
Yeah.
got what he wanted. Suzanne probably wouldn't care because she's a mean girl, maybe, and she's just that type of girl. Clearly, that's what she's shown.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
and then even with Suzanne, like I always thought that it was kind of weird, or is it weird that her and Angela, that they were friends? They seemed like they were, they just seemed like they were different. And I know like sometimes that happens, like you know, I had some friends who were free, you know, but we weren't that cool, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just always thought that was I mean, they're a cool dynamic though.
Oh yeah. I love their chemistry together. But you're right. Like, it is kind of strange because it seemed like Angela is more obviously into the darkness. She's goth. She's into that stuff, where Suzanne is more into her looks and makeup, you know, vanity stuff. And it's just interesting to see them two come together, because you would think that Suzanne maybe would be a mean girl, so she would hang with popular girls.
Right.
And Angela would be on that opposite side, where she just hang with the goth kids and people that's like her. So to see them two together, that's why I would love to see like a before all this happened. Like, who are these kids? Like, you know, like how did they meet? How like they hanging around? How do they hang in the same friend groups? Like, why? You know.
And it's like I've always wondered too, were there supposed to be more people invited?
Right.
Like, you know, and again, you know, I know the vibe of like a small town, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like, okay, this is that legend, so everybody knows about it. So no, I'm not going to go to a party there because of what happened. And the school dance is where everybody else is going to be, you know?
You're right.
So it's just so weird that only those few went. Like I would think that there would have been like a little bit more, or like I remember like it's been like a while, like because I watched it when I was really young, and I kind of like I didn't forget about it, but I just remember bits and pieces. And I remember I was probably like 10, 11, right? So I thought that, okay, there's probably going to be more guests coming through, you know, at least like one or two. And there was no one. No one.
It was just them.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, we're going to talk about this more in the verses section, but characters, you don't have to go into depth because obviously we're going to talk about a little bit in the verses, but like, who were your favorite characters in this particular movie? Okay,
so I really liked,
besides Roger,
I really liked Angela. Like I really like her a lot. It's like, it's weird too, because you were just talking about mean girls. I kind of see like when she was a human, she was fine, but when she became a demon, she became a mean girl. You know, so I like her. And then honestly, Helen. Like, I liked Helen. Like, I felt bad for it. Like, she didn't even have a chance. You know, I liked her. I liked her because she knew when to leave too. Same. And it's not her fault that she got snatched up. So that's who. What about yours? Like, who were some of your favorites?
She did get about that. My faves, also Angela, Sal, and I'll say Angela, Sal, and Suzanne, only because I picked Sal because he was down for the shits in the beginning. But then when shit started getting weird, he was like, "Oh, I'm out of here.
True.
I'm good." So I was here for that. Because he was on he was kind of like Roger and Helen when they wanted to leave, but I guess he just wanted to enjoy the party. And then when he starts seeing like crazy stuff happen, he was like, "All right, I'm out." Suzanne, because of how bold she is, like she just didn't give any shits. I feel like she had some of the best lines in this movie, in my opinion. To this day, I quote certain things that she says just because it just is great. And I don't know, I just like that she just didn't care, and that her introduction into this movie was classic. I mean, you just see her bare right there, you don't even know who it is. Well, it's not bare, but you might as well say it is.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's there. And then Angela, because I mean, she's great. She's a fun time. She's into the dark stuff. She's goth. She got a backbone, because I mean that part in when they were doing the seance and they were coming for like her pimple or whatever it is, and she was like, And she just went off like, shut the fuck up.
He was like, I'm trying, Ange, but I can't seem to get by that zit on your chin or something. And she was fed up.
Concentrate.
I'm trying to, Ange, but I can't get past that zit on your chin.
Shut the fuck up, asshole. If you're not gonna help us along, then get lost.
She was annoyed. I was like, yo, that F word was strong. You could tell that bothered her badly.
Yeah. And that's messed up. They're pointing it out. Like, it sucks when you have a pimple. Like, just go.
Right. And for somebody to notice it and make a joke about it, she was fed up. So I feel like Ange is a badass too. And I feel like maybe that's why, because this never made sense to me either. Suzanne is the first one to get possessed, right? And then for some reason, Angela becomes like the queen demon, even though Suzanne was the first one to get possessed. I always had this theory, like, well, maybe like the demon knew like she already had like a dark spirit and she was into this type of stuff. So it was like, we're just gonna just make her the queen. I don't know.
Yeah, she pretty much did become like the demon queen.
She was the only one that appeared in all the sequels. I mean, and they kind of make a reference in the second one when they were kind of like telling the stories, but we'll get to that. So
yeah.
But okay, so again, we're gonna get into a lot of stuff in the verses, but overall, what would you rate this movie? Because I don't know your rating for this movie. I don't know if it's perfect. I don't know if you think it's in the middle. So what would you rate it? I guess going up to a 5.
Okay, so because I love it, it's like I want to give it a 5. But you know what? I'm going to give it a 3.5 because because it's like I'm trying not to be biased because I feel like it is like the perfect 80s horror movie. Right. There are awesome creative kills. There are fun characters. There are likable characters, some not so likable characters. Like you said, even with the quotes, with the lines, there are memorable lines, so it's just a fun, like, horror movie. And it's just like, it's just so crazy to me sometimes, even when I come across people who's never seen it or they don't like it. It's just like, you need to fix your life. You're wrong, So, but yeah, I'm gonna go with 3.5. But I love it.
That's understandable, and that's super, super fair. I'll give it I'll probably say the same. I'll say a 3.5 as well. Okay. And much like you, I love this film. I enjoy it. Like what you just said. Like, we quote the film. It's one of our favorite. We talk about it all the time. But I'm trying not to look at it, being, from a biased standpoint as well. And there's a lot of things wrong with the movie. Obviously, it's not perfect. Right. It's a fun time. It's great. But I would say a 3.5 as well. Okay.
We're so connected, Bobby.
No, yeah, we're there. We see each other. So I love this movie. 3.5. Love the characters. It is what it is, but we won't go more into it in our verses. So now let's get into 1994's Night of the Demons Part 2.
Angela, the party guests are here!
To celebrate her homecoming party and raise a little hell. Night of the Demons 2.
So, when did you first see this movie, Zena?
I think it was maybe when I was. This one was a while. I don't think I've seen it maybe until maybe I was like 8 or 9. So it was a couple of years. But yeah, I remember watching it. I believe it was on cable, and once again, it was family time. This time, we would have family time watching horror movies, and I
love that.
Yeah, and it was like, I remember really excited to see, because I knew it was a sequel to the one that I watched when I was a kid. So I was really excited to like check it out. And I was really excited about the opening because remember that animation opening, right? But this time they didn't dive into the opening credits. We have a scene, an opening scene, and it's Whole House. And it's like, you know, there's some changes. You could tell that, you know, things are different. And it's like, okay, wait a minute. Why is that fence there, that picket fence? Where's the brick fence? You know, whatever.
Right, that wasn't in the first one, but
yeah,
cool, okay.
But okay, fine. So then that was like a fun opening because it was cool seeing Angela again. You know, she looked a little bit different, but we knew it was Angela, right?
Yeah.
And then we have that, you know, the opening credits, and it's just kind of like stock videos from the first
you can say it's blah. It's just like, okay, like the opening scene was great, but then the credits is just like, all right, it's not as fun as
it's like they got lazy or something, you know, and it's just like, all right, well, I'm still gonna give you guys the benefit of the doubt, you know. So, but there is something. Well, we'll talk about that later with that. But what about for you?
So again, much like you, and I said in the beginning, I seen this when I was like, you know, 8 or 9. This that I seen. First watching it again, I loved it. I enjoyed everything about it because it was so much fun. And I really haven't seen anything like it at that age. Actually, I mean, I guess that's kind of a lie because I did see Evil Dead at a young age too, and that got me out of here. But these two movies are so different. So but I just had a great time with it. It didn't really scare me. Maybe because like my aunt and uncle watched this movie, like we laughed at a lot of parts rather than being like, "Ooh, like this is scary." And I always wondered because I've never seen the first one. And the first one at that time never really came on TV. Like it was always part 2 that came on like Cinemax or something. So that's how I was able to watch it through that or on VHS. And when I first watched it, I'm like, all right, I want to see the first one. And I haven't seen the first one until a little bit later. But I enjoyed this one. It was a good time. I like some of the characters, maybe 2.
Right.
And it's probably going to be the same reason that I like some of the characters in the first movie.
Right.
But we'll get there. But overall, I enjoyed this movie. It was a good time. I seen it at a young age, and it always it's very nostalgic to me because this was one of the first movies I definitely enjoyed with my aunt and uncle when we were younger. So every time I watch this movie, it has like a warm spot in my heart. It's like a comfort movie. I could put this movie on at any time.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. It's like it's one of my comfort movies. Like I love the first one, but I have to watch it whenever it's on. I can't like go to sleep to it. But with part 2, there's just something about it where it's just like I put that on when I'm having like a bad day or whatever. It's just it helps me to like relax. Yeah,
it's fun. I will say that the difference in the two, you could definitely see it is a lot different than the first one. Kind of like what you mentioned, Angela obviously looks different. She's a little older in this one here. And it also made me think like, all right, watching this one first and then going back to the first, like, why did they make Angela like again like the main one?
Yeah.
Who decided that? Like, why did they decide to make her like the main demon to come back? Like, why not like Suzanne or Stooge?
Right.
Stooge. Child. But back to the second one. But but this one, it was a good time. And like I said, it's a comfort film. So I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah.
So what was some some memorable scenes for you in this movie? Like name maybe like your top 3 like favorite scenes in this movie, like memorable scenes.
Okay, so the first one is with Sister Gloria when she's in her room. She's ridiculous.
I love her.
So I mean, she pretty much saved them. So you know, but she's ridiculous. And then the other one is it's with Shirley's character when she's asking Sister Gloria that question, and it's just like. But then, you know, when they're in class, and I won't say it, but yeah, you know the question. And so,
Oh, Felicia.
yeah, oh, I don't know your channel rules, you know? So,
Okay. I mean, I curse all the time, and I shouldn't, but I mean,
but yeah, so when she asked that question, and then it was just like, okay, why are you scared now, Shirley? You know what I mean? She should have just went with it. And I don't know. I always thought that as well. I mean, obviously, when I watched it when I was a kid, I was like, what? You know,
yeah,
like,
me too.
it went over my head. So there's that scene. And then also the lipstick scene, because it's just like, first off, I would never, like, in my life, you find lipstick, you're going to try it on or take it.
That's dirty. I don't care what nobody
It is. Like, come on.
Gross.
So, and that color sucked. So it's not why she decided to take it. I don't know. There's just a lot of things.
Yeah.
But what about you?
I have a couple. The one that you mentioned with Shirley in the classroom, that's actually one of my favorites as well, just because she was stuck on stupid when Gloria was putting her, like, she was telling like, oh, well, like, what is it? And she was kind of like looking stupid. It's like, that's what you get for wanting to be a part of the class. Well, not a part of the class, and be a badass and kind of be like this bad girl. And Sister Gloria got you out of here and you look stupid.
Yep.
So that's one of my favorite ones. And then also when I feel bad for saying this, but when they go to Hall House and they got Mouse and Mouse, I know, and it's a shame, but I like when they kind of play that prank on her because it was so like intense.
It was.
And then come to find out it was just like a retractable like knife or whatever, and it was fake, and like Z-Boy would like played her.
Z-Boy.
That character, I don't even know.
He's screaming. Oh
yeah, it's weird. Like he does this like woohoo.
Jeez, doesn't the fun ever end in this place?
That was really weird.
Why can you do it? Like
it's really like, I don't know. He does a lot in this movie. And then there was another one, the school dance, I guess, the little bits of the school dance that we get in there. For some reason, we're going to talk about this in the verses as well, but when Angela is dancing, when I was younger, it's like this rock music playing in the background, and you hear like this, like, I guess the singer, whoever is singing behind it, it sounds demonic. So I always thought that was Angela, like, singing in the background as she was dancing. I guess that's the real song, and they just had like a artist singing behind it, and I'm just like, oh, I didn't know that. I just thought it was a demonic, like, Angela singing,
right,
and possessing Shirley to dance with. I don't know, it was just a lot. When I was younger, I used to always call her Charlotte. I don't know why, but it's Shirley.
You know what? Not with her. The girl named BB. I thought her name was Phoebe. Like that's what I heard. And then it wasn't until like a couple of years ago I was like, oh, BB. Like BB. I don't know. Whatever. It's fine.
All right, we're going to talk about this. I keep saying we're going to talk about this in the verses because it's like so much, because I'm comparing different things or whatever. But I got something to say about BB. And she reminds me of another character from a different franchise, and you might agree with me. So possibly, I don't know.
Okay.
But we'll get there when we get there. But what was some favorite scene? Well, besides that, I already said what was your favorite scenes. But how did you feel about Angela in this movie? Like, do you feel like she was like more likable in this movie compared to the first one, or do you feel like she was more scarier in this one than the first one? Like, what are your thoughts on Ange?
I thought that she was scarier in the first one and even more likable in the first one for me. I don't really feel like with the sequel that we fully got the full Angela that we had before. It was like something was missing. And like, I know it's like a new set of kids and stuff, but it's that same question. Why bring her back? because we really didn't get to see her. I was hoping, even looking at it now, it's like, okay, maybe it should have been Shirley. You know what I mean? Like she could have been like the new Angela. I mean, she was like a mean girl, so imagine what kind of demon she would be, you know?
Right.
So, but yeah, it's like even with her dance scene, it didn't like slap as hard. You know what I mean? It was like her dance scene from that first one. It creeped me out. Like when I love it to this day, but it's a pretty creepy scene. Like, you know, it even scared Sal. And obviously, if you're sitting there, you're watching someone, and then there's these flashing lights, you know, well, the music comes back on when the battery was dead. You know what I mean? Stuff is coming back on, and then she's like levitating, doing it's time to go. So I know they were trying to like recreate that scene, but it didn't hit as hard for me. And then even with BB's character, to me, she's similar to a Judy because her boyfriend, what was his name?
Johnny, I think. Is it John? Or
John, was it? Hold on, let me see. Yep, and that's his real name too. His real name is Johnny. So anyway, okay.
Cool.
with Johnny, the way he was watching Angela dance, I don't care. Like if he was my boyfriend and he was doing that, what are you doing? And then she's just like, you know, looking at him, watch her like all like surprised and like trying to put her hands on her hips afterwards. And it's just like, girl, you should have said something then. Or why are you watching? She watched the whole show too.
She did. And it's crazy. So I'm like that particular part, because there's a versus between that, so I don't want to get into it too much. But I will say that dance scene part where Johnny was like, you know, staring at her like that, I took it as like she was putting a spell on him, and she did it on purpose because like he was just too into it. And at first I thought to it a little bit, but then she kind of was like looking at Johnny, like giving him like this look like, why the fuck you looking at her? But I feel like it was kind of like a trance that Angela was putting him under. Like she was doing that on purpose. Even when she, all right, I mean, I'm not going to get too deep into it because this is part of the verses, so I don't want to ruin it. But yes, that scene I do agree with you on.
That's a good point, though. I think you might be right about that, because at first it was like he was like really. He's always seemed like he was like really into her, you know. And then it's just like some girls dancing on a table.
This random girl just dancing on a table, and you're just like, okay, like it's some weird. It's not good music that she's dancing to, and it just yeah, it was a lot. I mean, I can see why he might find her sexy because what she was wearing, and it was just
that was a great outfit, but her moves like I
don't know what happened. All right. And it's funny too. Like I'm pretty sure you probably already know this, but it's crazy because I also love the Brady Bunch movie. Okay, so you have I forgot her real name, but
Christine Taylor.
Christine Taylor. Yeah, she was Marsha in the Brady Bunch movie, and it's funny because in the car scene here, one of the characters called her Marsha Brady, and she didn't even have that role, you know, already. Like this movie came out before the Brady Bunch movie, so it's just funny how that turned out. Oh, well, she does look like Marsha.
She does.
And I have a question too about her demonic transformation, because usually, all right, so in the first Night of the Demons, you get possessed. That's it. You're a demon. That's it. You look grotesque, whatever. Or you just reanimated and you look like this, you know, zombie or whatever. With her, she was possessed, but then they brought her back to like her human state. Like after they put some garlic, I'm not saying garlic, some holy water down her throat. And she just became like she was alive. And I'm just like, well, back to normal. And I'm just like, okay, that's how it works. Okay, so so I guess all you need is holy water and you become human again. It was really, really interesting. Also, Shirley's her scene. That's one of my favorite scenes too. It's like during the dance where she's dancing with, I think it's his name Ricky or something, and you know she reveals her chestises and they come out like hands, and they like mangle his damn like finger in his hands, and it was just like melting. It was just a lot, and I've never seen anything like that. And I don't even know
Right.
how and why my aunt and uncle let me watch this at the age I was, because I shouldn't be watching it. But I turned out fine, I guess.
Yeah, you did. So,
But I'm just like, wow, I think that was like one of the most memorable parts for me. Kind of like Suzanne's lipstick scene in the first one.
mhm.
When I watched that part as an adult, that gagged me because I wasn't expecting to see lipstick go in places where it shouldn't.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
with this one, to see almost the same situations, but you have, breasts transforming into hands and then mingling in somebody else's hands in that way. It was interesting. I never seen anything like it. So that's one of my favorite scenes. I enjoyed it because that's something new to me.
That is new. Like I've never seen something like, well, as a kid like that,
Mhm.
Yeah. There's a lot of questions to that, like he wanted his sticky surprise, right? And so kind of like what you said, I don't know, it made me wonder even how they did something like that,
Yeah.
But with the first one though, it's hard to compare those two because they're
Yeah.
different. I think the second one, that one's like creepy, like, ew, what is that? With the mangled hand melted.
Yeah.
But she took the lipstick and she put it in there. And like in her
And
right? So it's like, okay, when I was a kid though, I'm not gonna lie, Bobby, I thought you could do that because I was just like, okay.
No.
I thought you could do that when I was 4. What?
Understandable. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just like I didn't see the point. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, yeah, I wonder why more people don't do that.
Nobody should be doing.
No,
that shouldn't be happening. Oh my gosh. But it's funny because like that, and that scene was well done too. Like it was really well done. Like you can clearly tell like it wasn't real.
Yeah.
You can tell it was fake, prosthetics and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But it was still well done, like how it went in, and then like it was just like, okay, like we're absorbing lipsticks now, and I never seen anything like that before. Like I see gore and stuff like that, but I never seen anything like that. And then with the second one, kind of the same thing. I'm just like, okay, what's about to happen? She revealed herself, and then you just see them like transform and then do what it did, and I'm just like, oh gosh, like this is real crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like one of my favorite memorable scenes in this movie here.
Definitely get it too.
Yes. So before we go into our verses, what would you rate this film?
Ooh, okay. Again, it is a comfort movie, like it is yours. And we both know it's not perfect, but I'm going to give it a. Oh God, this is hard. This is hard because it's gonna sound like I don't want to give it a 2.5 because that means like, oh, that sounds like it's bad, but it's not. It's not bad. So I'm gonna be like, give it a little extra boost. I'll give it a 3 because at first I was gonna give it a 2.5 because it's not quite. It doesn't have the magic like the original one. There's something magical about that one, but there's something comforting about this one, and then. I like that it takes place like at a Catholic school for like troubled kids.
Yeah.
That's like a really cool angle. So I'm gonna give it a 3.
Okay. We'll give it a 3. I don't know. Same for me. I didn't think about this. All right. So on my letterbox, I gave this movie like I forgot. I don't know if I gave it like a 4 or something like that. Just because like again, it's super nostalgic for me. I enjoyed it a lot. It's great. I think I did this maybe sometime last year, if I remember correctly. I think so. But I'll probably say, oh my gosh, I don't know, Zena.
Right, it's hard.
I don't want to give it a 4 because it's like I don't enjoy this more than the first one. Like I love this one, and again, it's one of my favorites. It is a comfort film, but like you said, the first one is magical, and even like it feels like Halloween, even though you don't really get much Halloween stuff in the first one. It feels like it, maybe because it's the color palette of the film. Like you get the lights, it's orange. It feels like Halloween. Where in this one, it really doesn't too much. And if you look at the cinematography and the color palette in this film, everything's more like blue. So it feels like it's cold. And I'm just like, it doesn't feel like Halloween too much in this movie, and I love Halloween. Okay, I'll probably I would say 3 too. Like, and I don't want to just seem like I'm copying, but now that I'm thinking about it, because I'm just realizing all of this stuff like now, like as you were talking, and I'm trying to compare stuff in my head from the first one to this one. I'm now thinking about it, and I'm just like, this is what I like about the first one and the second one, and the first one got a lot of things that the second one is obviously missing. So, I'm gonna say 3 too.
Okay, no, I get it. See, it's hard. You did this to us, though.
Yeah. I know I did. But I wasn't expecting this. I was gonna go in like, Night of the Demons 2 is like, I like it so much better than the first one. And then now I'm talking to you and I'm comparing, and I'm just like,
but and then like, that's too, like you said, you made a good point. A lot of the things that part 2 has, the first one should have had, and then vice versa. Like, too bad they couldn't just blend it together. We're not going to talk about 3, but too bad they couldn't just blend it together. So I get it.
3. I mean, 3. All right. I like things about 3. And that's all I'm gonna say. I guess there's reasons why that movie is out of print, and you barely can see it anywhere.
Yeah.
But I will say, at least Amelia Kincaid came back to play Angela in that one.
She did. I love that she came back. But you know what really made me upset? I don't remember the girl's name. I don't even remember if I own it or not. I don't think so. I know I have 1 and 2. I don't think I have part 3. So
yeah, nor do I. So I was looking for it, and like, you can find it like on eBay, but that John is like $50+, like, because it's out of print. So people is like trying to sell that movie, for a lot of money because it's out of print.
I get it.
So I say this all the time, like, since Scream Factory is like bringing back these movies and reviving like movies and stuff in a refreshment, maybe they can do Night of the Demons 3. I don't know.
I hope they do. You're right. Like, I remember like a couple of years ago, it used to be on YouTube. Somebody uploaded it on YouTube, and I remember watching it, and it was very dark and hard to see, So, but we definitely need it. But I was gonna say, like, I don't remember the main girl's name or that final girl's name, but there was a scene that made me so mad, and I remember watching it as a kid and being irritated, because I watched my fair share of horror movies around that age, so I know that that's not what you should be doing when there's like demons running wild. She was just, her and this guy, they were like kissing in the attic, and it's just like, there's demons. Like, what?
I know exactly what you're talking about. It's just like, why are you doing this? Like while all this is going on, like, your friends is being killed, they're being possessed. It's just like, why are you doing this? See, Night of the Demons got problems with their final girls in their movies, and that's all I'm gonna say. Maybe we should get more Rogers. We should have more Rogers. We
never got like another Roger.
Right, we haven't.
And then I know there was a black guy in the third one, but I didn't care for him. So
yeah, he was useless. Was he like the first to go? I know he got shot in the beginning, and then like he was kind of useless. From there, because they were trying to like rob a convenience store, and he got shot, so he was like handicapped most of the damn movie.
No.
And then and I'm just like, well, what's the point of having this man here and he can't do anything? And he gets possessed.
I don't even remember. I don't remember. I just remember I didn't care for him. His cat. Like, isn't he kind of douchey?
Like him and his friends were kind of douchey, and it was only like maybe 1 or 2 characters. The final girl in that movie and her friend that dressed like a cat, they were like the good girls, and everybody else were like horrible. So you didn't care for any of them. Like, you didn't care for the only person I really did care for in that third film was the girl that was dressed like a cat, because she kind of reminded me of Helen from the first one a little bit. She was just like why are you doing this? Like, let's get out of here,
Yeah.
whatever. Like, and then I will say she has one of the best demon transformations though, because when Angela turns her, she turns into like this cat creature.
Yeah.
If you
I
remember.
remember.
Mhm.
See, she's the one. I do remember her, like, in that transformation. Like,
Yeah.
that was awesome. Okay,
Yeah,
you're
that
right.
was
There's some good things in that one.
yeah, some, but overall that movie sucked.
Oh my god.
All right. So we both give this movie a 3.0 out of 5. So I guess that's fair. Okay, so let's get into our versus battle.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm putting characters, situations, and just all types of stuff against each other. So I got something here. Let me bring that up. So we're gonna start with the best storyline.
Okay.
So storyline. What do you think which one you thought was a lot better? The first one or the second one?
Ooh, that's so hard. Okay.
Because a lot of them aren't, I mean, well, both of them aren't, that great. But if you was to compare the two, it's just
Yeah.
like which one would you prefer?
Okay. I kind of like the first one better
Okay.
because we're kind of thrown into it. You said this earlier, like you would have liked to see how they were like reacting towards each other before Hall House and stuff. But I kind of like that they just threw us into it. These are the characters. They're going to this party, rock and roll,
Yeah.
But I do love the storyline and in the sequel where it's like more, it's like a school, that's always awesome. I like that. I like that type of thing. But yeah, I'm gonna go with that.
The first.
Yeah.
You want to go with the first one? All right. For me, I was going to say the same thing. Here's where I'm being biased. I'm going to say the second one.
Okay.
Just because I do like the school setting. I do like that they do visit Whole House, spend a little bit of time there, and then they come back and then brings a piece of them a piece of Whole House with them.
True.
And it kind of brings it out into the real world. I wish that a little bit more on that as far as like having the demons out in the real world and kind of, I guess, running amok a little bit.
Yeah.
But then I would probably be biting off of the actual movie demons in a
Mhm.
sense because everybody's just,
Yeah.
But I probably, and I love the first one because, like you said, like everybody's getting ready for this party. It was like
Mhm.
Halloween, and then they go all shit go, haywire, and then all different types of stuff is happening in this funeral parlor.
Yeah.
But in the second one, it just, I don't know, something about like them here going back to where it all began, come
Yeah.
back, and then like stuff is going on, and then they go back there to end it all. So I'm going to say the second one.
Okay.
I do love the storyline in the first one, but I'm gonna say the second one for me.
Okay. Hopefully, I don't know. Now I kind of regret my answer, but it's too late.
No, don't regret your answer. It's great because it makes a lot of sense. But like again, I'm just going with like nostalgic
Right.
reasons and like thinking about it in our conversation is kind of like,
Mhm.
I do like that. Even though I do like the first movie better, the storyline I kind of like a
Right.
little bit more. Best looks, best demon looks. So which demons do you prefer out of the two movies, the first one or the second one?
Oh my god. Um, okay. When it comes to Angela, I love the way Angela looks better in the first one. But with the other demons, to me, they look worse in a good way in the second one. Like there's something real like going like this with their teeth,
Yeah.
I don't know what that was. I was trying to describe it. But yeah.
I know what you mean, like their teeth is like crooked and it's like,
Yeah. It was crazy. So I guess I'll go, oh my God, my baby. I'll go with the second one.
Okay.
For the demons.
Okay. I wasn't expecting that, Zena.
I know, like, but I'm trying to be honest.
I completely get it though, because the demons in the second one was definitely a little bit more, I guess a little creepier, because like you did mention like their teeth and all that other stuff. For me, I'm going to say the first one, Zena.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
I'm gonna say the first one because, um, okay, because all right, the second one transformed. They did have like that weird like look with the teeth and their eyes and stuff. But in the first one, like the prosthetics, how it looked, and then like it looked like, especially with Suzanne's transformation, it looked like her face was being like pulled back. All of their faces actually like it was being pulled back, and they just look. Their voices just sound disgusting, like that deep gargly. Just it just I didn't like it in the first one. I like it, but I didn't like it. Like, I wouldn't want to be that person. I'd be there watching through the TV. But in the second one, I can't say that. Yeah, I'm gonna say the first one, just because of those reasons that I just said. So tied. I think we have 2 and 2.
Oh,
No.
okay.
Yeah, I think so. Okay. So the next one is going to be best kills, better kills. What kills do you? I mean, there's not too many kills that's happening between these two movies, but I will say, like, I guess more memorable ones, the ones that stick with you more.
Yeah. I have to go with the first one because I remember those more. I remember when Jay was getting his eyes gouged out and stuff. I remember with Max getting his arm, like, how did he die? Okay. But yeah, with his arm. And then Judy and his arm grabbing her leg and her screaming, letting all the demons know where she is.
Trying to shake it off.
But no. To me, yeah, the first one, because I remember those. The only one, honestly, when it comes with the second one, I know there's more, but I only remember Johnny's friend and him just being headless and playing basketball with his head. Yeah. But that's just me.
That's true.
Yeah.
It wasn't too many because like everybody that did die, like they got like possessed, and like I'm trying to think, like with Shirley, her scene's coming up very, very shortly, but she didn't necessarily like get killed. And then the dude that got his head chopped off, like, yeah, and then I mean the dude that got his hands mangled too, but I'm gonna say the first one, eye gouging out and like getting your tongue ripped out or whatever from Angela, whatever she did. And then the smashing in the coffin. Yeah, I'm gonna say the first one as well. They were a little bit more brutal on that one. Even I did enjoy the second one with the headless guy and he's playing basketball with it and putting it back on. And yeah. Okay. So first one for both of us.
Yay.
Okay. So next one, Angela's Demon Dance. So I'm gonna bring up some pictures here. So we have this Angela. I was trying to get like the actual video, but unfortunately it wouldn't let me. So I'm gonna put that in post-production. And then we have the second one. And we kind of already talked about this already, but just in case the people forgot, what would you say? Which one you prefer? There's no
yeah, there's no thinking about it. Though, she does, you're right though, in the second one, she does look sexy, she looks nice, but I don't know, there's just something haunting, chilling, little sexiness going on with the first one. It's just like you're intrigued. You know that you shouldn't be watching because something bad's going to happen, but you can't help yourself. Plus the song was better.
Oh yeah, the song was a lot better. The dance was better. Just everything was better in that whole entire scene. It was great.
Yeah.
Again, the second one, and you know what? They focus a lot more on her dancing on the first one. Like you just see her, and they'll cut to Sal every once in a while, but you see Angela doing her dance,
right?
And you're just like you're hypnotized by it because you're just like, what is she doing? And they did such a great job with the special effects, because when the strobe lights are going and she's dancing, it literally looked like she's jumping from one spot to another.
Yeah.
Even though we all know that's just editing, but
Yeah.
they did a great job with it, because it literally looked like, if you're watching it and you see the strobe light, you just see her bouncing all over the place doing this dance. So you're just like, what the hell is going on?
Right. And then even with that music, it's like, I don't know what he was saying. Those like bells or something, and you just kind of felt like you shouldn't be watching.
Right. And you just couldn't take it. You shouldn't be watching, but you can't take your eyes off of it. And just that whole lead up when she's just like feeling herself and just about to go in, and then Sal's like, Ange, what the hell are you doing down there? Or some stuff like that. It was just, that whole lead up was just great. And then she started saying something demonic or whatever. I don't know. It was just great. The second one, she just strolled up into the party. The music changed. Everything goes blue. She gets on the counter and she just started doing her thing and hypnotizing Johnny. And then she gets chased out by Sister Gloria. Sister Gloria. Yeah. First one, no brainer. First one was all that. It was great. Nice. You can't beat that one. Okay. Lipstick scene. Ooh. And what I mean by lipstick scene is obviously this one. Iconic, classic.
Right.
The next one I'm gonna show is this one. I couldn't show the other one I wanted to show. I couldn't show the other one I wanted to show because it might be too much for YouTube, so I just put that one there.
Okay.
But which one? And I have a feeling I know which one you're gonna say, but you have to. I'll let you go. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right. No, I don't know, because it's just like you said it. The first one, it is iconic, and it is kind of like I know when I was a kid, I thought that she really did. I just thought this is lip balm, but she has a little bit. I thought that she really did like put it in there. But then with the other one, it was just kind of like she wasn't trying hard enough to leave from out of that room, especially after what happened. And then what came, it just looked gross to me. Like she didn't even care.
Yeah.
So, okay, I'm going to go with, God, this is so hard, Bobby. Okay. It's hard because it's just like, again, the first one is iconic and I've never seen anything like that. But with the second one, you've seen something like that, but in different forms, like with Evil Dead with the trees or whatever.
Yeah, that's what it reminds you of a little bit.
Yeah. So I'm going to go with the first one for originality. But that second one, it was just more of like, all right, after it was out and she's just on the floor having a good time. It's like she didn't have any like worries or concerns, you know. So, but no, I'm gonna go with the first one for that.
Okay, good choice.
It's hard.
But I didn't think it was gonna be that hard. I was like, oh, these gonna be easy. Zena's gonna be like this one. But I get it because like you don't know until you start actually talking about these movies and like jumping in them, and you really be thinking about it. You're just like, oh snap, like this does like it does a great job at what it does. So it does go up against to like I guess the original.
Right.
So, but for me, like you, I'm going to say the first one. Same reasons you said, because of her originality. The second one was gross, but it was her own fault. She shouldn't have taken it out of the damn house. And first of all, used it twice, not just once. She was in the car and she used it, and then she went back out into the school and used it, and then it attacked her. And that's what she get, because she shouldn't be taking lipstick from places like that. That's disgusting. And like you said, she wasn't fighting hard enough, but it did remind me of Evil Dead as well, because of like the whole slithering and the where it went. And she wasn't, I'm trying not to say what I was saying. So I will say that the first one, because I wasn't expecting it when I first seen it. It like the second one, you wasn't really expecting that either, but you wasn't really surprised. You're just like, all right, cool. Like that's where it went. Like that's disgusting, but whatever. On the
Right.
first one, like you see her doing what she's doing, but you didn't know where it was gonna go. And then when it went there, you just like, hold the hell up. Like what? Like what's going on?
And it's like, again, she's a very feisty character. The fact that she didn't try to pick up the top of the toilet thing and hit it, and it's just like she's just like shaking her hair around and banging on the door, and it's just like,
exactly. Or get something in that bathroom. I'm sure they got some damn sprays or whatever you could spray it or something. Like stomp, like do something. You wasn't trying hard enough.
She could have even flushed it down the toilet. Like she sat there.
Oh, Shirley, whatever. But you wouldn't have got that scene with the whole like hands thing if that wouldn't have happened. So cool. So yeah, I'll say the first one too, just because that scene is so iconic, is great, and Linnea Quigley just did a great job just doing what she was doing in that scene. So definitely the first one. But the second one comes close because it was a great scene. So, and it was disgusting. So definitely the first one. All right, so we kind of already answered this too, but like the better Angela, like you prefer Angela in the first one, second one.
I prefer her in the first one because yeah, I kind of just feel, or I just feel like she's creepier, well, before she's even a demon, I think that she's more likable. Mm-hmm. She seems kind of quiet, like she's into some dark stuff, but okay, I can see why it would be intriguing to, with some of her classmates that they would want to go to a Halloween party that she's throwing, because that is, like her Christmas, you know what I mean? So of course, it's going to be like the best party ever. And then when she turns into a demon, it's like she's like that queen. You know what I mean? And then the way her face looks, I still think, I know that it's like dated, I still think that she looks like creepy. You know what I mean? She looks a mess. And then even when she's burned and how she's just floating down hallways and stuff, like
which they took on the second one. Like they used that same scene in the second one and the first one. And it's crazy because when I watched going back, I didn't mean to cut you off, but like I told you, I've seen the second one, and I always knew that Angela looked different in that scene. And I'm like, well, it has to come from the first one. So when I eventually did see the first one, I'm just like, okay, this is where they got it from. But it's just so weird to use that same scene from the first one and the second one. And even the third one, I remember if you watch the third one, it's that same exact scene when she's skating down that way. I'm like, can y'all just like not recreate this? Like, is she too old to go back on skates? Like, I'm sure she could get back on skates and go down the hall.
You just put on
push her.
Yeah, like she could be put on skates. No, you're right. I think that's very weird that they did that. And even when I watched it again, I watched the second one, like I was telling you, like earlier, and just seeing that scene again, it's just like, okay, this is coming off a little bit lazy, because even when I told you with the opening, credits, and it's just like it's stuff from the first movie, and it's just like, come on, you guys went all out, for the first one, so you don't have it. You know what I mean? We need more. So exactly. I don't know though, but like again, I like the way human Angela looks in the second one. She looks older, I thought, even though she's supposed to be undead and stuff, but she still looks well put together. But I don't know, there's just something about that first Angela for me.
I agree. I'll say the first one as well. Something about that first one. Again, love the second one. And human Angela does look great in the second one. Like, she looks older, but she looks great. I like her dress a little bit more in the second one because it's more sparkly. And it's not poofy. It's just like she looks more, I guess sexier, I guess, in a sense.
Yeah.
And even her hair is different. She don't got a fro. She got like So and I love the fro. Don't get me wrong, but it was good in the second one. I would love to see the fro return, but cool. We got what we got. But I will say the first one just because like being introduced to her and like how dark she is, and her demon makeup in that one, and just how they put everything together, and like she was shit talking in that one a lot too. The second one she was shit talking, but the first one as well. And that iconic line, like, "Where you going? The party's just begun." Like,
Whoa.
I love it. That
Yeah.
voice, just all that. Um, but I did like the opening scene where she got those the two people, like she just sliced them up in the beginning. Her eyes were just black, and she was just like, I don't
Yeah.
know, it was something about that opening scene that I like in the second one.
That's a great opening scene, though.
Yeah, it is.
Who were they? Jehovah Witnesses or?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Because they said something about that, I believe, and then like they still decide to go there. Like, who decides to go into a place like that? Like, if you're Jehovah, like, it looks abandoned. First of all, why are you going there?
Exactly.
And then a stranger will invite you in for cake, and you just like, sure, let's go. Like, you don't know them. What's wrong with you?
Exactly. And then look at the outside of the house.
Hello.
So
and then you look at the outside of the house, and then and it's something weird because you see this woman in there, and she just all happy, and it's dark in there, candles. It's just like something's obviously off. Maybe they thought she was getting ready for Halloween. Cool, but the outside of the house just looks not. And you're welcome into the house to get some devil's food, cake or whatever, and you got your ass sliced the hell up. That's what you get. You shouldn't have went there.
It's like they were kind of asking for it, like you said. I didn't even think about that. Like some stranger invites you in for cake. Who would be like, I don't know, whatever. Okay. See,
you decide to leave when you see the cake and it has like cobwebs and stuff on it. It's just like, oh, that's when we should leave. You should know something was off when you see this house and you got this weird woman in there, and then she invite you in for cake, and you just gonna like, oh, that's
and
stupid.
then it's like, didn't they just let themselves in?
Pretty much. I think so.
Well, whatever. There you go.
We went back to that scene, but Angela, that's where we was at. Angela, I say Angela from the first one as well, because she's just great. She's awesome. All right. So last one, final girls and guys. And the reason why I say this, because obviously we have Roger and Judy on the first one. And then on the second one, we have Sister Gloria, we have BB and Johnny.
Mm-hmm. And kind of Mouse. Did she survive? I don't know.
Yeah, the Mouse.
I said, did she survive? I watched it. Like,
I forgot all about Mouse. Oh snap! Okay, she survived too. I forgot, but
see,
wait, too many people survived. Hold on.
That's why I feel too many people. Too many people, and like everybody knew. Remember, they came back to the school, and they're like, "What happened?" And Sister Gloria, it's all finished now, hugging Mouse, and it's just like, and then some girl finds some lipstick on the floor once again, and she's taking it. So there's just again so much. Okay, but final girls and guys, I'll go with the first one.
Okay,
it's they are okay. We did see that it was going to be Judy, but we didn't see Roger coming. And honestly, it is iconic. I'm going to tell my children's children about him. He made history, horror history.
Totally. And as you should, because he deserves that respect. So I'll say the same thing. First one as well. And the reason why I say that, and even though I didn't really like Judy, but Roger saves all that for me.
Right.
He and you know what? He could have left Judy's ass on that barbed wire getting dragged down by them demons, but he climbed his ass right back up that wall and helped her. But in the second one, they had like the little super soakers with the holy water, and it was like blasting the demons. Angela turned to a snake. Then, okay, the part that bothered me, and this is why I'm going back and forth, is Sister Gloria gets her head chopped. Did she is she a magician? Because I could have swore, or did she like duck it as Angela went?
That's what they said. It made it seem like she like ducked or something. It's just like, who is this woman? You know what I mean? It's like she's been preparing for this moment all of her life.
Right. I feel like she has. Because that scene, I'm just like, all right. And she was like, because of faith and all that other stuff. And I'm just like, all right, wow, like you could grow another head.
I believe
So,
that, but not about growing a head. You know, you can have faith, but I never heard of that. I never read that in the Bible that you can
where did
grow another head. So,
and like they battled the demons and they battled Angela and then they battled Angela as in her snake form.
Mhm.
So, and they worked together in, you know, in that way, and they obviously defeated her. But I'm still say the first one because it was only two of them it only took two of them for them to get out, where you got Sister Gloria and then you got BB, who reminds me, and this is what I want to go back to. BB reminds me of Natalie from Urban Legend a little bit.
She does.
Yeah, it was not because of the red hair or nothing. Like she does look similar to her, but her character is just kind of remind me of her a little bit. So when I was watching this, I'm like, she kind of reminds me of Natalie, just a little bit. Not like she's more down with, I guess. Like she's a good girl. She's not much of a mean girl. She doesn't do anything to really stop Shirley and the rest of them from bothering Mouse, but she's still on Mouse's side. But it's just something about her that reminds me of Natalie that just gets on my nerves. And I feel like she shouldn't survived. Like I feel like she should have just died.
I see it, and I will never unsee it now because you know what? I do not like Natalie at all.
No, nor do I.
I just don't understand. Like, honestly, I was rooting and I'm still rooting for Brenda. Like, because she was annoying. She was annoying. She was whiny, entitled. Like, and I always talk about this particular scene when I think it's like the dean or whatever, he's asking her a question, Natalie, and she's all whiny about Daniel Harris's death, and she's just like, no. And it's just like, why do you sound like that? You know,
right.
Like, I don't know. She bothers me. Like, why did you survive? Okay, right, but no, you are so right. She does. BB and Natalie, like, they're the same.
Yeah,
they are the same. Very similar.
Yeah, but they're very.
I don't know if BB was as whiny. You know,
no, she wasn't as whiny. She was just. I feel like she was a little bit more gullible, but like,
yeah,
I don't think she was as whiny as Natalie. Like, I would prefer BB over Natalie, but
same.
they just remind me too much of each other, and I'm just like, there's just something about them. They just, I don't know what it is. So, but I want her to go. She got on my nerves. I want her to go. Johnny, I don't know why he survived too. Like, get it. Honestly, who should have survived in part 2 was the only people that should have survived was Mouse and Sister Gloria. My opinion. I feel like I was more comfortable with them too.
Well, I kind of like Terry though. I did like Terry. I don't know why she was. I don't even know why they were hanging out with Shirley. She was terrible. But like, I feel like Terry had too much personality to be hanging out with BB. BB didn't really have any personality. Shirley was just mean and wanted to do whatever she wanted to. And plus, she was like pretty snippy towards Terry. I don't know if you remember that scene.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like, what? Who are you talking to? Like, you know, so it's just like, I don't know, but I did like Terry. But I think that Terry, she should have never really been friends with them like that.
Yeah.
The same with the other guy who was into like learning about the dark arts. He should have never been involved. So, but I agree with you. It should have been Mouse and Sister Gloria, and then that's it.
But Terry did survive though, because going back to it, like she turned into a demon. They put the stuff in her mouth, and then she came back, and then that was the end of that you seen her. So she did survive, just not at the end. But she's still alive. Let's
just hope that she never hangs out with BB, Johnny, or Mouse again. She should just transfer, get out of the school.
I think she's done after this. I think she's done. Like I do agree. Like, I could kind of see her and Shirley hanging out together a little bit, just because she was picking on Mouse too. Like when Mouse was like wanted to get ready to go, and she was like, "Oh, why are you going?" Like she was kind of being with Mouse too. But at the same time, Shirley was being mean to Terry as well. So I'm just like, why? Like, Night of the Demons again. How is this friend group hanging with each other, and why?
Yeah.
Like, how are these people are friends?
Exactly. And there's like other people, like they sleep in a big room with other girls. You don't want to be friends with somebody else, like anybody else.
Oh no. So yeah, I would say the first one. Judy and Roger, they did the thing. They did what they had to do to get out. They didn't necessarily destroy the demons on their own. They just got away. I do like the fact that in the second one that they did actually fight back and they did what they did and they destroyed some demons. They got them out of here. In the first one, they just wait for the next day and the sun, the sunrise to come in and they all just
right,
or I don't know, disintegrate or something. But yeah, I'm gonna say the first one just because it was just two. It took two of them. Where in the second one, they had the help of Sister Gloria to help all of them out, which is great. But
yeah,
it was too many people that survived that one. Where I feel as though it should have only been Sister Gloria and Mouse, because Mouse deserves better justice for Mouse.
Yeah.
All right, so it's clear that, and that's it for the questions though, but it's clear obviously that the first one won.
Yay!
I was on top. I was scared because I didn't know what your thoughts was going to be for the second one. And I know mine's changed all the time. Like I go back and forth with stuff. And like I said, in conversations, before you get into conversations, actually, you think that, like, you already got your mindset, you think this is going to probably work out because you love the first one so much, and you get in the second one. But when you start to have these conversations and you start to see, like, well, that is a good point. Maybe this one is better than that one in that way. It's a lot. So that's why I like to have these conversations, and I like doing this just because you never know what would come out on top and what would change your mind.
Right. No, you had me answering questions that it was really hard. So that's a good thing, like, and again, like as much as I love the first one, we talked about this, there's something about that second one, where it's like you can watch it whenever. I don't know. And then even with that, I think I would probably even start people off. Well, I like to do things in order, but say if someone's never heard of this franchise before, ever, I don't know. I probably would point them to watch the second one first.
Okay.
Depending on the person, because with a lot of my friends, they're not into horror like that. And I don't think that they would have an appreciation for the first one, whereas I think that they would probably have more fun with the second one.
Yeah. There's a little bit more action, I guess, in the second one than the first one. So I can see that too. Like, you introduce them to that one, and you don't necessarily have to see the first one to see the second one.
True.
Like, they talk about the first one briefly in the beginning when Terry is telling that story, but you don't have to see the first one to see the second one. So it doesn't really matter which order you watch them in. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I like that. I would do the same thing. Again, it's the comfort movie for me. If I was to recommend either of the two, I would love for them to watch the first one. But if somebody wasn't into horror that much, I definitely would say the second one as well. I feel like they would have a lot more fun because it's more, I guess, action. It's a little bit more adventurous, and there's a little bit more interesting things in that one. Then maybe have them go back in the first one and see. I want to test that out because I have some friends that's not really into horror as much. But I would love to see, like, if they prefer either the one over the other.
Yeah.
So I'll probably go and test that theory out when it gets closer to Halloween or something. We'll see.
That's a good idea.
Night of the Demons won, and I feel like in our opinions, this is the superior out of the two. And if you want to technically count the third one, then maybe even the third one as well. Which we probably will talk about, I guess, at a later time, because I feel like we should talk about that movie at some point, because that movie, like we mentioned before, is a lot.
And then we probably do need to have a conversation about that remake, the 2009 version, because like, I don't understand. Don't understand.
You know what? We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that soon, because I have thoughts about that one as well. Yeah, we'll get there eventually. But again, Zena, thank you so much for joining me to talk about Night of the Demons 1 and 2. Where can everybody find you? I'm gonna mute my mic, so
No problem. Well, thank you again for the invite. I had so much fun, even just rewatching these movies, like giving me an excuse to like rewatch it is always just a joy. But yeah, so you guys can find me at realqueenofhorror.com. I'm also on YouTube as well, Real Queen of Horror, and I'm on Instagram and Facebook, Real Queen of Horror. And I'm also on Twitter. I'm always lurking on Twitter, and that's Lovely Zena.
I love it. Please follow Zena. She just posts so many awesome things on there. And she obviously she is the real queen of horror. Knows her shit, okay? She knows her stuff. Again, thank you so much. We really appreciate you. Well, I really appreciate it. I'm saying we, like there's multiple of us. I'm looking forward to having you again on my channel to talk about a whole bunch of other stuff, or maybe potentially the remake or even part 3 of this movie.
Yes.
So thanks again. Make sure that you guys like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and also Zena's. I'll put her information down here if y'all didn't get what she said in the comments below, and let us know your thoughts about these 2 movies in the comments below of this video as well. I would love everybody's thoughts on Night of the Demons 1 and 2, and if you agree with us or you don't agree, it doesn't matter, but I still want to know. So again, thanks again for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.